Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us today. We are going to present you the Office of Finance webinar regarding Alteryx Designer. So be welcome to ask whichever questions you may have. Our Q&A is open for all the time. So let's take a look on our agenda for this meeting. So we're going to be talking a little bit about introduction. So we are going to introduce ourselves. We are going to talk a little bit about data mining and our services. We are going to show a little bit about Alteryx Designer. We have some use cases, some demos to show you about how you can use Alteryx Designer on the Office of Finance. And also we will have the Q&A. But this Q&A session is actually throughout the whole session. So if you do have any questions, please ask inside the Q&A, send a message, and while I'm talking, Hinaldo will be answering the chat. While Hinaldo is talking, I'm going to be on the chat answering all of your questions regarding Alteryx Designer. So that being said, let me present your hosts. So my name is Jaime Martins. I'm a senior associate here from Data Mining. I'm working with Data Mining for more than a year for now. And I'm from Brazil, so I am already apologizing for some misspoken words. I have a different background from what I expect from an IT consultant. So I have a law degree. I have also an accountability degree. So I moved for the IT side of things because of Alteryx. So I like to joke that I'm kind of like a proving living use case. So I have also a background within audit. I worked previously for a Big Four. So I have knowledge on what we're going to discuss today. And together with me, I have Hinaldo. He's also a previous Big Four worker. And he will introduce himself better when he starts to speak with you. Now, let's talk a little bit about Data Mining. So who is Data Mining? Data Mining is a boutique business intelligence consulting firm. So what that means is that we are going to provide you a lot of different services regarding BI, regarding ETL, regarding all that you want to do with data. We offer end-to-end BI solutions. So since the database all the way to the database, we have all the services in between that. And we have consultants from all around the globe. As I said, I'm from Brazil, but we do have folks in India. We have folks in Europe, so Denmark, Germany. We also have folks in Lebanon. We have people throughout the whole Latin America, and of course, in the US. We offer different types of services like business intelligence, data management, change management, delivery management, education, and training with a lot of different partners. So we have AWS, Tableau, Informatica, Snowflake, Alation, Microsoft Azure, Machine, Cloudera, and of course, Alteryx. And we just won the Partner of the Year of 2022 within Alteryx. So now we're just talking with the best. Just joking aside, yes, we do. So let's talk a little bit about what you came here for. Let's talk about Alteryx Designer. So as I said, I came from an audit firm that is a Big Four, and I know how much wasted time we do have. So we've been researching and we saw that 26 hours per week are spent on manual spreadsheet text. What are manual spreadsheet text? So for example, VLOOKUPs, copy and paste, crushing data on Excel when you're trying to filter, remove duplicates, and prepare all of your data inside of Excel. All of those manual tasks that you know that is kind of like boring and that takes a lot of times and makes everything slow. Yes, those hours, they take 26 hours of your consultants per week. That's a lot. Can you imagine having those 26 hours back for you to deep dive in your analysis and have like advanced analytics behind of it? It would be awesome, right? So that's why we say that it's easier to train the accountants, the audits, and also lawyers in advanced analytics. than to train IT consultants to do accounting or all of those different subjects that I just said. Why that? Because you know what you want, you know what you need, you know the process. And if you know the process and you have an easy tool to use, bingo, you have what you need. You won't need to send something for IT to help you to create. You won't need anyone else to help you. If you can do it, and if you have an easy tool to do it, you have all this opportunity. So that being said, let's take a look on what Alteryx is. So Alteryx is an ETL platform. It's an ETL program that will help you to prepare, manipulate, and do everything you need within your data. It's a tool that is proven globally. So we have 8,000 more customers, 39% of the global 2,000, so the biggest companies in the world. It's a unified platform. So we have analytics, we have data science, process automation, we have machine learning and AI all in one. You can also do reports, you can do data blending, you can do all of those things inside of one unique platform. And it's super easy to do it. Probably you guys know what Lego is. You know, the building blocks. If you know what Lego is, if you already played with this, and you know how to play with this, you will know how to play with Alteryx. Because Alteryx is a self-service tool with no code, or maybe sometimes low code, but easy to use for everyone. We have over 300 analytics automation blocks. What does it mean? You know the Lego pieces? You just have to put one on top of the other, actually one right next to the other, and build your workflow. So you are going to build all of your work within blocks. So just like playing with Legos. And within those Legos, those building blocks, you have 80 more input sources. So you'll be able to see that you can input data from a lot of different sources. And also, you can make outputs from more than 40 different platforms. And when I'm saying different platforms, I'm saying like Tableau, Power BI, and Clicks if you want to see your data in a data visualization tool. Or also, you can output directly to your database. So you can work inside your database tool. We have in-database tools that are able to work directly in there. Our ecosystem is pretty strong. We have a lot of different partners in a lot of different segments. We own also the customer choices for the 2020 Gartner Per Insights Data Science and Machine Learning platforms, and our community is the strongest community on the internet. So we have over 250,000 members that are active there to answer all of your questions, with published solutions, and also user contributions. So you have a broad variety of things inside of our community that will help you to leverage your knowledge inside of Alteryx. But I mentioned a lot of things, but one of the nicest things about Alteryx is to automate your work. So we were talking a little bit about manual tasks at the beginning, and those manual tasks, they can be automated. So more than 60% of the audit, accounting, tax process, they can be automated. Sometimes fully, sometimes highly, somewhat automated, and some of them are difficult to automate. But even if you automate a piece of it, piece by piece, you get a lot of hours back. And of course, if you have a fully automated process, you won't need to do anything. You can simply schedule it, and it will do it for you in a monthly, daily, quarterly basis. That's awesome, right? So all of this will help you to have a better work-life balance, to have a better work day because you'll be able to do your analysis and also avoid some risks and, of course, give you back some hours. That being said, now I'm going to pass to Reinaldo. He's going to talk a little bit about our different use cases on those areas.
Thanks, Adi. Let me just present my screen, share my screen very quickly. Screen number 2. All right. Open asset and liability. Okay, so hello everyone. I am Reynaldo Mota, and just like Honey, I'm part of data mining training and enablement team. I'm also Brazilian, may have noticed my accent. But however, differently from Honey, I'm not a lawyer. I got my background in IT. So I have a degree in computer science and some post-graduation in data science and big data, right? Just like Honey, I worked in a big four company, but I also worked in several areas of IT. So I used to work as an IT infrastructure guy. I used to work with IT procurement and IT audit, of course. In addition to it, I had an opportunity to work with business intelligence. So I used to work with Python, SQL, Google BigQuery, and finally today I am data mining to work with Alteryx. I'm delivering some training sessions with Alteryx, and also delivering some projects for our clients. All right, so let's go. I am looking forward to share some use cases for you in this webinar, right? So the first one is going to be company asset and liability reconciliation. So the main idea you're going to see here, the main idea of the use cases is present you a challenge, a problem. So as you can see here, a challenge. So every use case, you're going to see one screen like this with a challenge, with a problem. But of course, we're going to give you the solution, which is the most important thing, right? So we're not going to leave it. I don't want you to leave this webinar without knowing the solution of each one of our use cases. All right, let's move on. So for this company asset liability reconciliations, right? We know these activities, they are quite common in a day-to-day of many organizations, right? But still, it is also of great importance, right? It can be very painful sometimes, right? But why? Why is it painful sometimes? Because to develop our reconciliations, the analysts typically, they need to extract data from different systems. We know that in the world we live in, we don't always have an integrated environment, so where systems communicate to each other. Okay, so I remember when I used to work at the big four company, I've seen many companies that has one system responsible for the inventory, another system for accounts receivable, another system for cash flow, right? So at the end of the day, there is only the analyst trying to extract reports from all of them, and finally to be possible to create the reconciliation, okay? But also, of course, in a manual way, right? So this is one very important point, okay? And also, this can happen with some frequency, depending on the periodicity of the reconciliation. So some reconciliations, they need to be done in a daily basis. Some can be weekly or monthly, but they are still manual in case they need to extract information and do all the data preparation steps and etc. Right? So guys, in other words, we have the perfect combination of an automation using Alteryx Designer, right? Because we have one, manual report extraction, two, manual data preparation and calculation steps being done manually, three, it's time consuming, and four, it's a recurring task. So you need to repeat this every day or every week or every month. So very often, right? So guys, in summary, given all this background I just gave you, the folks from accounting, FP&A, tax, also they normally suffer to compose general reconciliation because there are too many manual steps and multiple sources of data. All right, guys. So we have this use case. We're going to see we have this challenge that I just talked to you in another way, right? And for this webinar, we are going to use our Alteryx Starter Kit, right? But what I'm talking about, I'm going to open here the Alteryx Starter Kit website. So let me I don't know if I'm able to share here through the Zoom. If Honey can provide me here the link, I would appreciate that. It is here. I'm going to share here through the chat. So this is the link for the starter kits. The starter kits, they are pre-built analytic templates that let you start solving in seconds, all right? So there are a bunch of examples here, a bunch of use cases, and we're going to talk a little bit more about those options at the end of the webinar. But for now, we're going to use the Office of Finance samples, all right? So if you go and search, you can enter here, Office of Finance. You see here the starter kit for Office of Finance. So you click in Read More. Another screen will be opened up. So this is the screen for the starter kit for financial analytics, right? So feel free, here there is a video explaining how can you download, how can you install it. So you just need to, I've already logged in, so it's going to be a questionnaire here. So as soon as you fulfill the questionnaire, I think if I click not you, it's going to be, yeah. So there is this questionnaire. So as soon as you fulfill this, you'll be able to download the financial analytics starter kit, right? So it's like this. You'll be able to download the file, right? As soon as you download, you're going to see this file, the Office of Finance non-admin. So it's an exe. So you need to install this. And as soon as you install, you'll be able to, inside of your Alteryx Designer, you'll be able to see and open the same examples we are going to use here today. All right. So let's go to the Alteryx final. Let's open Alteryx here. So this is our challenge. Do you remember we have a reconciliation to be done from multiple sources, and we're going to do this in a very quick and easy way. This is the workflow that we are going to use right now. Of course, this is too tiny. I'm going to open Alteryx and we're going to walk through in order to understand a little bit better, how we can automate, how can we make things easier using Alteryx, all right? So I'm just open Alteryx. In case you've already downloaded the executable file, you can, in case you like to open this, the sample, you go all the way to the help, sample workflows. You're going to see here, Office of Finance starter kit, English, asset liability reconciliation, right? Of course, under this Office of Finance, you're going to see the cash flow forecasting, the finance KPI, YTD, and the last one, indirect tax sales and use tax, right? But for now, we're going to use the asset liability reconciliation, okay? So let's do a walkthrough on this workflow, okay? Let's solve our first challenge. Guys, the idea here is just present you how we can solve problems and automate solutions in a very easy way using Alteryx. So I'm going to walk you through this. So in here, guys, it shows in this first part that it doesn't matter how many data inputs you have or where they are from, okay? You can simply load them, okay? So in this example, we are loading company assets data that comes from one specific system. We are loading company liabilities data that comes from another system. And finally, we are loading some company audit data from a database, from a SQL server, all right? So it doesn't matter from where they are. You just need to, drag and drop. You need to create your connects and put your data, right? As simple as that, right? So we have the company assets data with some IDs, government debt, securities, and so on, all right? As you can see, we have some null values, which is not good. Almost an entire null row, right? For the company liabilities data, we have lots of null information, as you can see here. And given this, in our second step, in the data preparation and data blending part, it's where we're going to prepare and blend our data, all right? What I'm talking about guys, data preparation. When we are talking about data preparation, we are talking about a process that could take up to 80% of the whole time available to perform data analysis, right? So for example, imagine that you need to prepare this reconciliation every day or every week. Imagine that you need to take care of all the news. You need to extract specific dates from some specific columns. You need to convert. You need to create some formulas. So this kind of step, it's very manual and need to be 100% focused in order to avoid any human error. All right. So in case you're not able to automate this, it's like and perform the same manual steps every time you need to run the reconciliation. You can be, losing time. That can be avoided using Alteryx. Imagine in a year base, right? You can save a lot of time using Alteryx. All right. So see here that I'm joining two different data sources. So I'm just joining assets and liability data based on an ID. So each one of those steps here, each tool we are seeing here by this arrow does one specific step inside of our entire analysis process, all right? Also, this part right here that I'm just presenting you, they are called canvas, but just for explaining. Okay, so each step, each tool we are using here, they are responsible for one specific step. So as you can see, we are here replacing null values. We are calculating total asset and total liability. So we're talking about the formula tool, okay, where we can create several formulas. We can create different columns and create formulas to create calculated fields, all right? What else, guys? Well, after joining our first two sources of data, finally, I am blending with the other data stream here, which is my company audit data from the SQL Server, right? So guys, basically, data preparation, data blending being done in a very easy and very clear way, which is very important, right? So now, can you imagine how much time an analyst would lose each month to carry it out of this type of preparation? It's too much, right? So finally, we have here our step number 3, the reconciliation itself. It's where the magic happens, I like to say. In this step number 3, it's where we run our reconciliation, okay? So after combining company's asset and liability data with the audit data, we're now going to aggregate some data for the reconciliation and also create some flags. But what I'm talking about creating some flags. The flags, they are there are brand new columns that I'm going to create to tell me, hey, if the sum of my total assets is equal to my sum of my audit total assets, then okay, I don't have any problems with it. In case they are different, I have an issue. So I need to analyze this data, right? This specific row. Okay, so I have one flag for the asset reconciliation. I have another flag for the liability reconciliation, okay? And I have a final flag that is for the reconciliation as a whole, right? So why I'm creating this? Because I can create a point of control in this filter, right? I can create this filter to separate when I have everything okay, when my reconciliation is doing great, I go one way, and when it's not that good, so when I have some differences, I can just send back to my workflow, to my previous data stream to aggregate more data and output to an Excel file, maybe for analysis purposes, right? So why do I have some differences in here? Okay, so I'm just exporting this to an Excel file in case I have any trouble with my reconciliation, okay? But in case everything's okay, right? In case I have my reconciliation 100% up and running, then I can just export to a data visualization tool, just like Tableau, right? And Alteryx has a specific connection to Tableau and Power BI, so it's like you can connect data straight from Alteryx to your data visualization tools and you're able to, build your reports, your sexy reports, and the way you'd like to. All right. So guys, there is no secret in here. And I can tell you, with being very, very honest with you, that one workflow like this takes around from 15 to 20 minutes to develop, right? In Alteryx, okay? But more important than this is that you can save this workflow and you can run it again, right? So in other words, it won't be necessary to spend time developing this again. Almost all the months are going to be the same, right? You just need to change your data inputs because all the preparation steps, all the calculations, they're there. They don't need to be changed at all. Only in case you would like to do that, of course, in case some rules have changes and etc., right? So guys, as simple as that. So as you can see, this activity is very trivial in controlling, accounting, tax areas, and we are executing this workflow in, let me see, less than 3 seconds, right? So we're losing less than 3 seconds to perform this reconciliation, right? So way better than manual process, right? There's another thing that I'd like to share about this workflow is that in case you have Alteryx server in your environment, you can just schedule the execution of this workflow. So imagine you have everything set up and then you like to see this report being run every Monday morning or every, I don't know, after doing the Wednesday. Why not? You can schedule the execution of this workflow when you have Alteryx server in your environment, okay? Folks, this was our first use case. I hope you enjoyed. This is something that is very simple and will bring you not only gains in terms of time consuming, but also in terms of reliability, security, and of course, assurance, okay? So this was our first example, first use cases. Let me just, again, open our PowerPoint. So we just saw here our final challenge. All right, but Alteryx shall not live by reconciliation alone, but doing much more advanced things, right? So let's talk a little bit more about PDF. Folks, I know many people need to manipulate PDF files. Sometimes I need to manipulate PDF files. So it can be a report, it can be an invoice, it can be a tax guide, whatever. So how can you create a table from it? Because at the end of the day, we don't need the PDF file the way they are. We need to tabulate this. We need a table with this, right? In this example of an invoice, right? We have this example of an invoice. Imagine that you like to extract some specific parts of this PDF file, right? In case you have only one invoice, it's way easier, right? It just goes straight to the information that you'd like to copy. You just select, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, there you go. No problems at all, all right? Done. However, imagine that you have a bunch of PDF files, PDF invoices, just like this, right? Would you open one by one to do that? I'm pretty sure not, right? Of course not. Also, if they are editable PDFs, it's like, okay, but what if they are an image? That you're going to be in trouble. It sounds like a trouble, right? Okay, so Reinaldo, how can Alteryx help us by reading invoices in PDF from editable or image PDFs, right? Folks, I believe that you already have heard about OCR technology, right? Yeah, the OCR is not as new as you might think. It's from the 50s, okay? And it's a technology that is used to recognize and extract text from files of different sources, right? OCR is pretty present in our daily in our life, right? When you pick up your phone and like to take a picture, or you just like to take a picture of a document, your camera automatically recognizes that text. Sometimes you can also extract specific parts of the document that you're trying to take a picture of. So it's not rocket science, right? But in Alteryx, we are going to use here in this use case the PDF image input is straight from our Alteryx Intelligence Suite. Okay, for those who don't know what is it, the Alteryx Intelligence Suite, that's a add-on from Alteryx Designer. All right, guys, that enables us to enables the users, right, to go through the computer vision capabilities like optical character recognition to detect and extract individual characters or a set of characters from images like PDFs, for example. Okay, so we're going to read PDF invoices and transform them in a table. As simple as that. All right. Okay, guys. So imagine that you have this invoice again. Now we're going to use this invoice as an example in our use case. So the process of extracting data from a PDF is possible by one, you can read information based on the position they are in the PDF file. So for example, this information, total USD $740. They are in this specific region. Okay, so they are selected, so I'm going to extract everything inside of this highlighted area. Okay, in case I like to select more, I can just make this something like this. So I'm exploring the specific region that I'd like to get information from. I'm sorry. Okay. The other thing, the number two, you can extract this through the data itself. Okay, so I can just outline that I'd like to have only this information, and there you go. The PDF input from Alteryx is going to read this information for you, okay, and get the value that I want, right? So guys, in this use case, we're going to select some specific regions of this PDF. I'm going to show you just a moment. So I will always extract the information that is inside of that specific region, all right? In here, we have only one file, but we're going to use this example. We're going to use this example for 9 different invoices, all right? That has the same schema, all right? Okay, so this is our solution. This is the workflow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tools. With only 7 tools, I will be able to extract the necessary information from 9 different PDF invoices. All right. So let me go back to Alteryx again. Yoo-hoo. There we go. This is the workflow I was talking about. So what we are doing here, guys. First, in this tool, okay, again, every tool here is responsible for one step in my entire analysis, right? But in this first one, I'm just telling Alteryx where are my PDF files. So entering here the path of my PDF files. No secrets, right? And I am mentioning here that I'd like to open only the PDF files inside of that folder. Okay. Then do remember that I can select the region that I like to extract information from. It's inside of this tool called image template. So within this image template, I can highlight the region containing the information that I'd like to extract. All right, so I'm extracting here the bill number, I'm extracting the total, I'm extracting, oh, that is not so good because my zoom is not that good, but I think it's way better now. I'm extracting the when the payment is going to be due, the legal domicile, and the tax rate. All right. So all of those highlighted areas are going to be extracted, and it's going to be in a table. At the end of the day, this is what matters for us. All right, guys. So by just telling Alteryx where my PDF files are and from which region that I'd like to extract information to, I am I mean, with more than 70% of my path done in order to have a perfect table at the end, right? Why? Because after using this set of tools, I'm just doing some preparation steps, right? I'm filtering, I'm using the image to text because, you can enter here the language that you have inside of your PDF file. In case you like to use, in case you have more than one language inside of the same PDF file, for example, we are dealing with a PDF in English. So in case you are Brazilian, just like me, and you like to, or you work for a company that has some subsidiaries in Brazil, you can select Portuguese. You can select more than one, no problems at all, right? Of course, for this example, we're just talking about English, so that's why we're selecting here English here, right? Okay, so then guys, just doing some preparation steps. So creating a multi-field formula. I am doing some text to columns, and you can see in my step-by-step how my data looks like, right? So you can see how my data was before the tool and how my data is after using the tool. So before and after, right? So nice. Okay, so basically now I'm using here the tools to prepare my data set, and at the end of the day, after using the filter, after using the multi-field formula, after splitting into new columns, I have my final table. There we go. Okay, so in here, guys, I opened 9 different invoices, as we can see here, and I have a table for each one of them with the information that I selected in my previous steps. All right. With this highlighted information, I am bringing over all of this information from different PDF files. Okay. So guys, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with 7 tools, I'm able to do that in 14.3 seconds. So less than 15 seconds, I'm reading data from 9 different invoices. Imagine in case you have, 100. How much time would you spend opening one by one and copying specific pieces of data, right? It's a very powerful tool that Alteryx can help us to, increase your, not only in terms of confidence, but assurance, security, and of course, it's time consuming, right? So we're saving a lot of time by using this. Okay, guys, this is all about our second use case. I hope you are enjoying. I think this is just fantastic. I hope you're enjoying. Let's go to our third and, yes, the last use case we have. Unfortunately, I'm really excited about showing you this use cases. I think they are very helpful. Okay, so guys, we already have talked about reconciliation. We saw how to read PDF invoices. Now it's time to talk a little about more indirect tax, sales, and use tax. So folks from the tax department, right? Guys, just like I mentioned before, at the reconciliation use case, like the accounting area, the tax area has a large window of opportunity of automation, right? They can be, you can drastically reduce analysts' work time, okay? Why? Because we know the tax side, we have basically the same things as the controlling area, accounting, and also FP&A areas. So we know you have multiple data sources that needs to be blended together at the end of the day. So basically the same difficulties you have in the reconciliation, you might find in the indirect tax, right? In this part right here, okay? So yeah, we have many automation possibilities for tax proposals, not only in terms of preparation, calculations, but also for creating customized reports, yeah, we can create customized reports using Alteryx. Right? It's not only for data preparation, it's not only for ETL, it's not only for calculations. You can create customized reports as well, right? So for this last example, for this last use case, we have this challenge. So the sales and use tax data often comes from multiple sources that need to be blended together and requires numerous calculations, all right? For this use case, we're going to, again, use a workflow from the Alteryx Office of Finance. So more specifically, the indirect tax, sales, and use tax. Okay, so let me just open it here. Oops, before opening Alteryx Designer, this would be the workflow that we're going to that I'm going to walk you through. This is our solution. So when we have this kind of challenge, we have this solution. So we're going to automate the manipulation and preparation of data, the blending of data sources, the creation of tax calculations, and finally, our creation of customizable reports. All right? Let me go again to Alteryx, present this beautiful workflow. All right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit because this workflow is a little bit bigger than the others, so you can see what is going on. Okay, so let me just walk you through this. So just like the reconciliation steps, the reconciliation workflow, we have something similar here. So we are emulating the input of files that comes from different sources. So in this case, we have the subscription data that comes from a database. It can be from SQL Server, it can be from AWS, it can be from Oracle, it can be from Snowflake, it can be from Databricks, it doesn't matter. We have all of those possibilities and much more, okay? We have the zip code by state from one specific system, and we do have the state tax rates that comes from another system, all right? So we have 3 different data sources, all right? So Alteryx is ready to work with this kind of situation, all right? Okay, so let's go to the second step, the data preparation. Again, folks, data preparation is on the table again. And as such, we are talking about a process that could take up to 80% of the whole time, available to perform analysis, right? So in here, what we're doing here, we are creating several formulas, and inside of each one of these tools, we are doing something different, okay? So here we are identifying month number. So I am using some specific functions to identify month number based on one rule, all right? So just creating formulas that represents different fields or different calculations maybe, right? So identify month number. So I'm working with extracting information from dates, right? Which is good. So I need to change my date format before extracting dates, specific piece of dates from that, right? Guys, for documentation purposes, this sounds good because I can see what is being done in each one of these formulas, all right? But in case I'd like to use only one formula, I can do that. So if you go all the way to the formula, you can create lots of formulas inside of the same tool, okay? So you don't need to create 1, 2, 3, 4 different formulas. You can create only one formula tool, use one formula tool, and write your formulas inside of this unique formula tool, all right? So you have this possibility as well. Okay, guys. So I am creating this step, these formulas in a step-by-step approach, which is good for documentation, but you can maybe change that, all right? So can you see here that I'm preparing only my first data stream? Say so only my subscription data. Now, my second step, I am going to use to blend data and aggregate data. So after combining in this step here, I am combining the zip codes. So I have my second data stream here that have my zip code by state. So I'm combining this and I'm bringing over the state name and the state abbreviation from my second file. So I am enriching my current data set, okay? And after that, I am aggregating. So I'm getting my totals for unknown sales, because if you take a look in here, in my, for this one, I have some, let me see here, I'm sorry. I have some purchases, I have some sales that I don't know the billing zip. All right, so I am summing everything that is null in my billing zip. So it is for my unknown sales. Okay, in here, this is my total sales per state, because I know that I have, one value for my subscription data, and I do have my zip code for that. So I know those sales. Okay, so I have the totals per state, and I have my total for all the states. Okay, so a view per state and a view for all the states. All right. Okay, so I am blending here, guys. I'm appending the totals for the totals per state and for all the states. So when I do this, I am appending this column here with the total. All right. And finally, I'm also appending the total unknown sales to my data set. So after that, I have not only the state information, but I have here the possibility to rename fields. Okay, so I have my non-state sales, my non-total sales, and my total unknown sales. All right, guys, this is very important. When you blend data, you can enrich, you can kind of create more data based on what you have in your data set. Okay, which is in a nice way to improve your analysis. Right? Calculate taxes. This is where the magic happens in this workflow, right? Because it is here, guys, that I need to find my apportioned unknown sales amounts. So I am creating here my apportioned unknown sales, and based on this, I am calculating my total sales per state. All right, so creating formulas in here to create my calculations, right? And Rinaldo, you are missing one data stream from your lookup table for your state tax rates. Yeah, I was missing that, but I am just using this in this tool. Okay, this tool, guys, works just like a Excel VLOOKUP. So from my last data stream, I have the state and its respective tax. So I have 52 records, so one record per one rate per state, and I am adding this information after using this tool. Okay, there we go, just like the Excel VLOOKUP, right? And finally, I don't need to have all of these columns. I have 8 fields in this workflow, but I don't need the 8 fields to be to be used in my final report. Okay, because I can use this tool to check or uncheck fields. I am deselecting some fields that I don't want to see in my final report. All right. And finally, guys, in my step number 5, I am able to create customizable, I can create custom reports. What I'm talking about right now, what are you talking about by custom reports? I'm talking about something like this, okay? You can create specific rows to highlight specific cells, okay? For example, I can have one specific rule. So in case my state taxes is equals to 0, I'm going to bring the background color blue. In case my state taxes is greater than or equal to 300, I can just highlight in red. I don't know. Okay, it's up to you. You got the power here. Okay, so guys, on-site, customize my report. I'm able to export this report, and I can export this to multiple sources, right? In here, we are exporting to a PDF file. I can also export this to an HTML, RTF, Word, Excel, HTML, PowerPoint, PNG, or you can also specify an output. Okay. So guys, you have all of these possibilities. So imagine how much time you can save by just creating this workflow that will be run in less than 1 second. Okay. So this is going to be run in less than 1 second. And guys, in case you can schedule the execution of this workflow, it's going to be there waiting for you. Okay. The report can be also automated. So you can just add some tools that will send you an email with the report attached. So guys, this is a very, very powerful tool that you can just make your day even easier and even, spend your time with what really matters. Okay? Folks, this is what I had for you for our use cases. So I'm bringing here, I showed you 3 use cases. I really hope you enjoyed, just like me. Now I'm going to turn back to Honey, and thank you guys. See you another moment.
So thank you very much, Reinaldo. Let's continue a little bit here. So Reinaldo showed you some of the examples, some use cases for accounts, for decks, and other subjects. So he showed you the PDF reader. That's an awesome tool. And I know that a lot of people try to read PDFs. So that's something that Alteryx will really help you with. But besides the specific use cases that Reinaldo just showed, we have a lot of different other use cases. So we have here some other use cases that you can use with the Alteryx Designer for accounting and operations, tax, audit, treasury, FP&A, and business decision support. So there are a lot of different use cases that you can use Alteryx to leverage, and it will help your day-to-day activities. So if you want, you can just take a screenshot of that. Of course, we'll be sending you the recordings of this webinar so you can take a look afterwards. And that's what we wanted to present to you guys. I saw some questions and some comments here on the Q&A and also on the chat. Thank you very much for those comments. We saw that you sent it privately for us. We already answered some of the questions. If you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask us. So just shoot us an email for info@datameaning.com, or you can also send it directly to us, honey.martins@datameaning.com and reinaldo.mota@datameaning.com. So if you want to contact us, please feel free to send us an email, shoot us a message, and we'll be more than happy to have it. So thank you very much again. I know that take 1 hour from your day to be with us. It's a lot. So we much appreciate your participation, and see you guys at another moment. Thank you very much.